All right, so let's get into it. YouTube Live and why live video is going to crush everything online. At least why I think it's going to crush everything online. I'm so excited to share with you what I've learned, and inside this presentation, we're gonna be going into some lots of fun things. A special little something that I'd like to give back to you, and this is just my way of making this a little bit fun. I really want to reward interaction today. I really want you to get engaged with this because I really feel that when you get engaged, that's when you learn the best. Now, on the comments area there on your right, you'll see a comment area where you can ask questions and that sort of thing, or even chat with each other. It's like a chat room, so you can get involved. Now, I'd like to encourage that for perhaps people that are sitting there and just kind of watching. I'd like to encourage you to get involved as well. Yes, the video does get more comments, but nowadays, it doesn't matter all that much for SEO or ranking and all this sort of stuff. It's really just designed for you to get involved because I know that's the best way of learning. So I've got 3 really cool giveaways that I'm going to give away to live attendees only. So you've got to be watching this live. The first thing is actually the camera that I'm using for this presentation. So it's a Logitech webcam, and also you can pick my brain for 1 hour. So that's the first thing I want to give away for you guys watching live. Logitech cam and pick my brains for 1 hour. That's pretty cool. And keep in mind that I don't do consultancy as my business model. So, I prefer spending the time on my own businesses because it's an opportunity cost if I spend it on someone else's business. So that time is something very special, giving my time away for you. The next thing is 2 more prizes or giveaways, I guess, is 2 more Pick My Brains for 1 hour. So there's 3 altogether. The first one comes with a Logitech camera. I wonder if I have the camera here. I'll show you the camera in a second, the exact camera that you'll be getting access to. I didn't get time to actually buy the camera that I'll be sending, and I can't show you the one that I'm using, but I'll show you a picture of it really soon. So how to be considered for this is 2 things. So pay attention. Very, very simple. First of all, I'd love for you to leave an intelligent comment. It has to add value. I'd love for you to just get involved in the conversation and add value. And you'll see there towards your right of the video, there should be a little chat area there where you can leave your comments. So just get involved there and start chatting to each other. So that'll qualify you, I guess, for one of the giveaways. And as I said, I just really want you to have a conversation and to have fun. Today's presentation is just really about fun. I'm just having a bit of fun, and I want you to have fun. I'm not going to pitch anything. I'm not going to sell anything. I just want to give you the information with no restriction because I think this is such a big thing. All right. So the second thing is, and this is optional. You don't have to do this, but I'd love for you, if you appreciate what I'm doing here, to share this on Facebook as well. Just share it with your friends. If you think this is cool. Below the video on YouTube, where you're watching this, there should be a little share button or tab link there. If you click on that, that'll open up the share interface where you can go ahead and share it with everyone else. And the winners will be picked randomly at the end, and I've got my own little random process that I'll go through with you at the end to make sure that the results are as random as possible. Now keep in mind that it's I don't actually have a helper here with me, and that's part of the cool thing about this. I wanted to do this in a way that you can repeat it all by yourself as well if you wanted to. And obviously you can have people helping you, but I wanted to show you how easy this is. Okay, so you have to be there live to qualify, and I'm going to try and I'll do my best to keep all of this within an hour and announce the winners within the hour, so that it doesn't spill into the next hour. I'll do my best for that. Fingers crossed, I can pull that off. Okay, let's get started. Are you ready? Let me just have a quick look at the comments, making sure that everything is all good. Wow, there's just a ton of comments coming through. There's like we've jumped to almost 300 comments now. I'm a bit overwhelmed, to be honest, but hey, I'm really excited to be going into this stuff with you. So let's get into it. Okay. First of all, are you one of these things? Perhaps you're totally intrigued by this whole live video thing. You've heard about it, you've seen it, you want to find out more about it. Maybe you're brand new to live video streaming and want to find out more about it. Or maybe you want to learn how to use live video for your business. And there's lots of cool applications for this, obviously. Well, maybe not as obvious. Or you have a really strong internal desire to run live events and reach thousands of people worldwide and influence them in a really big way from the comfort of your own home or office. That last one there is the kicker for me, influencing people all over the world in a live setting. This is so exciting. Now, if any of these things resonated with you, you're definitely in the right place. And by the looks of it, from the number of comments that I've been getting and the interest that I've been getting from this, there's a lot of people interested in this. So I'm so glad about that. So what I'll show you today, I'll talk about why live video will crush everything online. So that's my big thing here, why I think eventually it'll crush everything online. Maybe not get rid of everything, but certainly have a big factor. And of course, how you can get started with this immediately. And I really mean immediately. After this call, you can get everything you need and get started right away. So a couple of nights ago, I watched a program on TV, MasterChef Australia. Now, I wanted to have some pictures here of MasterChef, but I'm concerned with copyright and this sort of thing, so I decided not to. I prefer using my own images, and I just didn't have the time to create my own image for MasterChef. But anyway, I was watching MasterChef, and something interesting happened. Watch this. Now, it took definitely more than an hour of my time. I don't think it was just an hour long. It was kind of a long show. The question is, why did I watch the whole thing? Especially if you consider that, I was super busy. I was actually preparing for this live event that you're watching right now. It was just the other night here in Australia. I never watch TV. Like, we do have a television at the moment, but it came with a house. But I actually never watch television. So just keep that in mind. And get this, and if you've watched this before, there were like 1 million ads in between the programs. And that's one of the reasons why I don't watch TV anymore, because they just bombard you with ads and you just can't get to the content. It's so annoying. So, what's going on here? Why did I watch the whole thing? What's up with that? Perhaps you've had the same experience. I'm sure you will have watched something on TV where it's kind of live. It's pre-recorded, but they're streaming it live, really, broadcasting it live. I know you can record it, but sometimes you haven't prepared for it or whatever, and you just sit there and watch the thing, and you watch the whole thing. Sometimes you don't even want to watch the whole thing, but you do. What's going on here? Maybe, I'm sure you will have had the same experience. But I would suggest that there's more to it than meets the eye. And hopefully that'll come through in this presentation. But first, let's look at live video first, just to calm your nerves if you're thinking this is not for everybody. Let me just show you this. Live video is much easier than you think. Things have changed a lot. I tried this 2 years ago, and oh my goodness, I'm surprised I still have hair left from that experience. 2 years ago, I tried this, and it was just an absolute nightmare. I just failed miserably. There were a number of reasons. I had an expensive camera for this. It was a good enough camera. It was great. I even had some expensive gear to connect my camera to my computer. That's what I thought what you needed if you wanted to do a live broadcast type of thing. I had an okay internet connection. I was actually in an incubator, a business incubator. I was starting up my Splashio business there, and they had pretty good internet. But it was all just too hard, and I just ended up giving up for a while, at least. I gave up. It was just too hard. The technical difficulty was just so crazy. Today, though, everything's different. Things are very, very different today. 2 years on since I started playing with this. Just a side note. I've actually been wanting to do this for around 32 years. When I was 5 years old, I had this vision or something that I wanted to be on live broadcast television. I was watching a show on TV and I just said, I want to do that. So I've actually been wanting to do this for 32 years. A long time. Okay, so today everything is different. You don't need any fancy or expensive cameras. There's no need for a super advanced studio. And I'm going to show you my studio. There's no need for super expensive software even. In fact, there's some software that's for free. In fact, if you have a good webcam, a good enough computer, and a good internet connection, and some free software, you're all set. Seriously. And I'm going to show you all of it in this presentation. So what you're seeing right here, right now, is proof that you can do it too. Seriously, if you tried to do what I did 2 years ago, I would agree you'd really struggle. But if you apply what I've learned now, anybody can do this. There are a few requirements, like a good internet connection, but let me get into that now. So why does the setup work so well? Well, one thing is that there's a massive reduction in moving parts. Whenever you're trying to do something, I guess technical or online, or I guess in business, I always want to simplify things and remove as many moving parts as possible. And with live video, it's so important and to make it as simple as possible, because seriously, there are many things that can go wrong. Moving parts include things like batteries that go flat, extra screens that might not show up, the internet. There's a whole list of things. And so what I've done is I've removed as many of those moving parts as possible, but still help you get an amazing result. I'm pretty impressed with the result that I'm getting here, and my equipment is very, very simple. But let me just go into this first. Why live video? Why live video instead of recorded video? So first, let's have a look at the problem with non-live video. Let me just point this out. I want to point out the contrast here, because the contrast is so uncanny. This is the whole motivation behind doing this. Okay, when you create your own content, pre-recorded content that is, it's time consuming. And by that, I specifically mean the post-production stuff, the video editing stuff, after you've recorded, getting it edited, getting it uploaded, reviewing it, all this jazz. It takes so long. It drives me nuts. And even if you get someone else to do it, it still drives me nuts because it takes so long. It's generally quite difficult to get high engagement. Yes, you can get really high engagement with pre-recorded videos, but it's more difficult. Let me just have a quick look here at the number of comments that we're getting here at the moment. So this is a live thing. Whoa, we're sitting on 411 comments. You guys are really going for it. Brilliant. So this is telling me there's a lot of interaction here and engagement, which is awesome. So with pre-recorded stuff, it's really hard to get engagement. Now, the other thing is you're also competing with everyone else's non-live updates. When you submit your video on YouTube, people get it in their subscription feed. And guess what? They also get the updates from everyone else that they subscribe to. So on the subscription page, or the Watch Now page, or whatever it is that YouTube has, it's not just your video. They have a bunch of other videos there pulling for your attention. You're competing very much so. And, people know that they can watch it later. So sometimes they don't bother clicking on your video as a result. I'm generalizing here a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. And very importantly, it's not interactive. There is some interactivity to it, like you can leave comments and stuff like that, but it's after the fact. It's not live like you guys are watching right now, if you're watching this live. Now, the other thing is there's no positive energy feedback loop. When I'm pre-recording a video, there's no audience. There's no audience watching me live. So there's no energy that I'm getting from that audience. So I had a really amazing chat with one of my friends, Leslie Samuel, who's running Become a Blogger. And he was saying that thing, whenever he's in front of an audience, he just performs. We've just been watching the X Factor as well. It's crazy. I'm watching TV at the moment. It's not my normal thing. But X Factor, I love watching that. But anyway, you watch these performers, and when they're in front of the judges or just doing it not in front of an audience, the energy is flat. They're not doing very well. They sound totally different. They look different. Their body language is different. As soon as you put them in front of that audience of 1,000 or 5,000 people, they change completely. So you don't get this with pre-recorded content. So in contrast with live video, and I'm just going to contrast these just to make the point. If you do it right, there really is no post-production required. This video that you're watching right now, by the time I press stop and I finish this, I'm done. I'm not going to go back and re-edit this video. It is done. So I've got my pre-preparation for getting ready for it. I run the thing live. When I'm done, it's done. That's really awesome. Engagement goes through the roof. I mean, goodness gracious, I had 112 whatever comments before I even started this video. Before there was even any content, I had 112 comments. Now, yes, I did have an incentive for people to leave a comment, but on previous occasions, I've also had incentives, and I didn't get such a big result. Let me just have another quick look there to give you a feel for what's happening here. So 438 comments right now at the time of this recording. Crazy. Okay, so engagement goes through the roof. And by the way, YouTube they just love this aspect because it increases watch time and session time. I've just gone through the YouTube certification course for audience growth, and two of the key things they talked about there was watch time, so how long people watch your video for and how engaged they are on your video, and then very importantly your session time, so for how long do they stay on YouTube as a whole as a result of watching your video. So when you think about live, I mean, how long have you been watching this now? If you're still watching, it's been about 20 or 30 minutes that I've been going for this. That's a lot of watch time, and of course YouTube loves that because the more people are on YouTube, the more they can advertise, the better chance they have of putting advertisements in front of you, and hence the more attractive they are for advertisers, and hence the more money they can make. It's really as simple as that. So watch time and session time. The other thing is that it's still a blue ocean. Right now, it's still a blue ocean. If you don't know what a blue ocean is, there's a wonderful book called Blue Ocean Strategy. It talks about blue oceans and red oceans. Now, a red ocean is where it's a market that's extremely competitive, and in fact, it's cutthroat. So there's blood, and the blood goes into the ocean, I guess, and it turns it red. That's where the analogy comes from. So it's a red ocean. There's a lot of stuff that's red ocean. At the moment, blogging, even video blogging to a certain degree, is becoming a bit of a red ocean. Live video is still a blue ocean. There's hardly any competition in there. And I would argue that through live video, and because you can do this all by yourself, you don't need a broadcaster or a TV station to do this. You make the rules. So you can create your own little blue ocean, even within the live video streaming area. So it's a blue ocean, which is very, very exciting. And it's super interactive. I've stressed that point. It's very interactive. Now, and this is just want to stress this again, you can feed off your audience, and this results in more engaging and better quality content videos. That's what it's about. So this positive energy that I'm getting from you right now helps me be more engaging. It's like I'm that X Factor person standing in front of an audience, and something happens psychologically where I just feel like I've got to deliver, otherwise I get egg on my face, right? So it forces me to create better content, more engaging and better quality. And this, my dear friends, is why I believe live video will crush everything else eventually online in the future. I mean, what else could possibly beat it? What else is there currently online that could beat this kind of experience that you're having right now? The next best thing really is face-to-face communication. And what I'm doing here now is I'm having a face-to-face communication with you watching this right now, but also everyone else watching this. How cool is that? I mean, I'm struggling to come up with something that's better than this in terms of engaging your audience and communicating with your audience online. It's pretty awesome. I might be biased. Okay, big question here. Why is live video relevant for you right now? Why now? And why live video specifically now? Well, just a couple of days ago, there was an article on Real SEO that said that YouTube is now, again, the biggest social network online. YouTube is the biggest social network online, not Facebook, YouTube. So as of a couple of weeks ago, YouTube overtook Facebook. And get this, YouTube had more than 1 billion subscribers before Facebook did. And of course, YouTube started earlier, but once again, they are back on track. And not many people know this. And here's the graph that proves that. This is from the realseo.com site. And I think they got this from ComScore. But look at that green curve there. That's the YouTube one. It's been following along Facebook all this time, and just in the last couple of weeks, it's overtaken Facebook in terms of unique visitors. Did you know this? This is huge. This is massive. So, YouTube's not just this silly old video site. It is the biggest social media site in the world, bigger than Facebook. I'm hoping I'm making my point here because it's massive. And I think a lot of people has been discounting YouTube because they haven't realized how massive it is. And think about it. Your people on YouTube are more engaged because they watch an actual video. Compare this to Facebook where people are addicted to the stream, right? You know what I'm talking about. The stream just keeps on coming. You read the stream maybe, but you don't fully engage. You don't always go and leave a comment, or you don't click on it or whatever. You just go scroll or whatever. When you're watching a video on YouTube, you're engaged for that whole time that you're watching that video. So, very cool. Now, live streaming is still at the start of the adoption curve. So I'm still talking about why now. So let me just share this very interesting little nugget of wisdom here for you. I've been a student of trends for a very, very long time. Let me just get a blue pen here. Now, if you look at any product adoption life cycle, and especially new products, it looks something like this. And then some sort of a curve. And normally what you get is something like this, where you have, your innovators, your early adopters, your early majority, late majority, and I've just run out of space on the screen, but the laggards. Now, this was maybe, this point here at the beginning is maybe 8 years ago for YouTube. I'm just going to write YouTube here in brackets. Okay. Now, I think we are probably, in terms of the graph, it's hard for me to know, hard for anybody to know where exactly we are in terms of world trends. But I reckon we're somewhere within the mainstream right now, in the early majority. So I'm just going to write now here. So this is 8 years that this has taken. Now, where's live video? Okay, let me just flick back to my face here because this is important. So remember how I just said Facebook is not the biggest social media site anymore. YouTube is, right? And this is the curve that spells it. So let's look at where YouTube Live is right now. So YouTube Live probably started, I don't know, about a couple of years ago. And I think the uptake has been a little bit slow because it's definitely harder. Live video is harder than recorded video. There's no doubt about that. But this is the exciting thing for me. We're here now. Now, this stuff here represents the audience potential. And if our curve is eventually going to catch up to this YouTube audience, I mean, it's crazy. So this is YouTube Live right now. So right at the beginning of what's happening for YouTube Live now. So let me get back to my slides here. So really at the start of the adoption curve, which makes it exciting. If you ever want to get in on a big wave, you get in at the start. Super exciting. All right. Now it's kind of like the new TV. So you've got your own broadcast station. You can broadcast whenever you want. You own it. It's tremendous, and that's why I'm saying, like, I've been wanting to do this for at least 2 years, but I couldn't. So I'm actually 2 years behind now, but it's okay because I think the adoption has been a bit slower than it could have been. But it means that now is a good time to get into it. So according to Nielsen, YouTube reaches more US adults aged 18 to 34 than any cable network. It's just another crazy statistic. So you have the ability to set up your own broadcast channel on YouTube and be bigger than a cable channel. I mean, PewDiePie, the #1 YouTuber, goodness, last time I checked, I think he had about 29 million subscribers to just his channel. It's one guy, maybe a couple of guys helping him out to do the videos. It's massive. You have this at your fingertips now. It is crazy. Maybe we could say in a few years' time, live video killed the TV star. Video killed the radio star. I didn't pick up a singing career, but maybe that was a good thing. But you remember the song, right? Live video perhaps is killing the TV star. So just want to quickly mention this, a side note, Hangouts, on air versus YouTube Live. I had a lot of people asking about this because Hangouts on air has certainly been adopted a lot faster than YouTube Live. The key thing for me is this. At the moment, Hangouts on air is simpler and easier. It's really simple and easy to use, but you have less control. There's less you can do with Hangouts on air, Google Hangouts on air, than you can do with YouTube Live. So I'm not saying YouTube Live is necessarily better. It is for me, for my own preferences, but I just think this is the future where things are moving towards, and perhaps they'll combine the two at one point. But I really like Wayne Gretzky's quote where he says, "I skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been." So maybe YouTube Live is where it's going to be, and Google Hangouts or Hangouts on Air is where it is at right now. But obviously, if you're just getting started, Google Hangouts on Air is certainly a lot easier to get into, but you don't get as much control as as you can see, I've got a lot of cool things happening here. Okay, so let me show you how easy live video is. So this is probably what you've been waiting for, the actual nitty-gritty of my equipment, what my setup looks like, and so that you can just follow my footsteps and start getting the same sort of setup for yourself. So what you need, this is my setup. Of course, you can make it as complicated as you want, seriously, but this is my setup and I've just kept it super simple. And in fact, I'll recommend some simplifications even more to this if you want to. This is my setup, all right? So I've got a Logitech webcam. It's a C920 model. I seriously did not think this camera would create an image quality like this. It's what I'm using right now. I'm so impressed with it. So that's what it looks like. It's about $140. You can probably get it cheaper on Amazon or something. Really cool. And that's the one that I'm actually giving away as the first prize or giveaway today. Now you need a fast enough computer. I've got a new MacBook Pro. So I've got a dual core processor. Now this is something that is very important. You need a very good processor. Like the better your processor is for this stuff, the easier it's going to work for you. Because what happens is, your computer basically has to churn or process all that video content, and then before it can get streamed live, it's got to get it into a format that it can stream live. So your processing power is super important. I think even more important than your RAM. So make sure you have a computer that's got a good speed. This is something I didn't know beforehand. In fact, I wish I actually bought a bigger MacBook Pro. I've got the smaller one. The bigger one has a 4-core processor that's double as fast as mine, which is even cooler. So the higher your processing rate, the better. Trust me on that one. You need fast enough upload speed. I recommend at least 5 megabits per second, or that should certainly cover everything you want to do at 720p. That should work well. Now in Australia, historically for me, this has been a problem. It depends where you live in Australia as well. Some people have access to our fiber optic connection. Where I'm living, we're far away from that, so it's been a real challenge to get good internet. I managed to find a microwave supplier that's getting me some internet here. So that's why I said at the beginning, if it does drop out, it's probably because of that. But at the moment, that's the best I can do, and I don't want to wait any longer. So if you can get a good solid cable or fiber optic connection, you'll be sweet. But microwave also works, but it's a bit variable. You'll need some software, and this is the software that I recommend for this is called Wirecast for YouTube. Now, Wirecast makes different versions of the software, but the one that you need for this is Wirecast for YouTube, and you can just get started with the free version. There's a studio version as well and a pro version too. I've got the pro, but the free version is certainly good enough to help you get started. And then of course you'll need YouTube Live as well. This comes with your YouTube account. You might have to activate it, but certainly I think, I'm not sure if you need 10 subscribers or whatever. There might be a limit on that, but just have a look inside your settings. You can activate it inside your settings. Now lights is completely optional. If you're in a good lit area, you don't need lights. You don't need a fancy white background like mine. It's completely optional, but obviously the better your lighting is, the clearer your image quality. I'm using a fancy microphone. It's a Rode Podcaster microphone, and it does a great job. But once again, that's optional. You can just use the built-in microphone on your computer or a fairly cheap USB microphone. It doesn't have to be something fancy. Now, I also use an extra computer for showing these slides to you and showing stuff on the screen. That's also optional. You can actually do all of that on your main computer where you're streaming everything from. So you don't need an extra computer. I just like doing it because it gives me a bit more options, and it creates a slightly better experience for you guys, my viewers. So this is what it looks like. Let me show you something cool now. Here we go. What I'm going to do now, and this is the cool thing that you can do with YouTube Live, that I'm not sure of whether you can do this on Google Hangouts. Perhaps you can, but I'm not sure if you can do it as good quality. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flick over to a pre-recorded video that I actually recorded last night of my whole setup. So you can see exactly my configuration, my room size, all the equipment, and I'm sure this is really what you want to see. So you can take notes, or you can just watch this again afterwards, but basically it shows you everything. So I've just gone through the list, but now I'm going to show you. So wait for it. Here it is. Are you ready? I'm going to cue it in right now. Okay, so let's have a quick look at my setup. First of all, the overall view of the room that I'm in. It's actually quite a small room. I could do this in a bigger room if I wanted to, but the reason I'm choosing a small room is because the sound is pretty good. It's basically, you can do this in a 3 by 3 meter room. So 3 meters by 3 meters. So it's pretty small. I've got 3 lights in here. There's one there, and one here. And there's my webcam, 2 computers and microphone, and you can just see my seat sticking out there. And behind me is, of course, the white wall. And all it is just a white wall with, a white painted wall. It's nothing special. These 2 lights are basically overexposing the wall to make it nice and bright. And I'll show you a really cool trick with the webcam in just a second. Now, of course, you don't need to have a fancy setup like this with lights. I'm just being fancy here because I like a white background. But certainly, you can just do this in your, in any office area or living room. It's certainly not required to have a white background. But this is the setup that I've got. If you want to copy something similar. Now, I've got pretty expensive lights here, but there are very affordable options around these days as well. That can cost you, next to nothing to get a similar lighting setup. Okay, so those are the lights and the space in general. Now I've got a desk here that I'm sitting at. As you can see, I've got two computers to help me with the setup, my webcam, and also a nice USB microphone. So let's talk about these things now. So let's talk about, I guess, the camera first. So this is a Logitech 920C camera, I think it is. I'll just confirm that on the slides during the presentation, but it is really a very simple setup. As you can see, I'm not even using a fancy video camera. This one costs about 140 bucks or something like that. Very affordable. And it just plugs straight into my computer here. USB port. Now there are a ton of benefits to having this sort of a camera as opposed to a big, clunky, expensive video camera. One huge benefit is that it helps with the processing of that video on your computer. If you have a big, fat video camera, when it sends the signal through to your computer, basically your computer has to do all the crunching, whereas my understanding is with these webcams, a lot of the crunching, number crunching, or what do you call it, video processing, happens on the little camera before it gets sent to your computer. So it saves on the processing power, which is very, very important. You want to protect the processing power of your computer as much as you can, unless you've got a real big beast. Now, so that's the camera, very simple setup. Now, of course, you can have more than one of these plugged in with the Wirecast software, which I'll talk about in a second. But it's very easy. You just plug and play. It's as easy as that. There's a little hack with this camera. There's a cool little piece of software. I don't know if you can see it here, called eyeglasses. Costs about 20 bucks or something. I can't remember. Maybe it's a little bit more. Whatever it is, it's totally worth it. But it allows you to play around with the settings. Look at that. You can adjust the exposure and the white balance and the focus, and you can set it. So it doesn't automatically update, which is pretty cool. And also brightness, temperature, all this other sort of stuff as well. Very, very cool. So that's basically the camera, and that's my hack for being able to get such a nice white background, because I can adjust this, this white balance here and exposure to set it to exactly the level that I want. So I've got two computers here now. I might have mentioned this in the slides, but you don't need two computers. You can do everything on just one computer if you wanted to. I'm just being fancy here and being a bit of a perfectionist. I like having my slides and doing any kind of drawings on a side computer, and I'm hooking that up with some extra software that comes with Wirecast, the Wirecast for YouTube software, and I'm not sure if you can see it there, but it's called Desktop Presenter, and it's just like a plugin that you install as part of the software, and that allows you to basically hook up other computers and other computer screens with your presentation. Now here on my main computer, I'm running Wirecast. You can see my reflection in the video here. Let me just get this in focus for you. So Wirecast, that's the software that I'm using here. And let me just see if I can use my other hand to flick between the different screens. So there you can see me. Hi. That's one screen. I can flick over to what's actually on this screen over here. Let me just prove to you as I change it. Let's see if I change it to another thing. It should change over here as well. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay, depending on how well I've set this up. Maybe I forgot to actually hook this up. Oh yeah, it's just changed. It's a little bit delayed at the moment because I've got a different connection here, which is actually really, really important, which I'll talk about in a second. You need a good connection to make this work, because this is running off my Wi-Fi at the moment. And you don't want to be running it off Wi-Fi. You want to have a solid Ethernet connection for any computer or anything that you're going to be streaming over the internet live. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got plugged in into my Thunderbolt connection, an Ethernet cable, and that goes all the way to my internet over there. Very importantly, I've got power plugged in as well, as you can see there. So you want to make sure you're running off power instead of batteries when you're doing live stuff. And the same goes for this computer here. I've got power there, and it's plugged in, and also that USB connection you see there, it connects to the internet. So very cool. What else do I have here? The microphone. So once again here, I'm being kind of fancy with this. You don't need a fancy microphone like this. You can just use the default microphone that's on your actual computer. That'll work fine. If you want to be fancy, you can use a USB microphone like this and plug it straight into your computer. So that cable just goes all the way behind the back there and plugs into my computer here. Okay, very simple. Very important, I've got two keyboards, one keyboard for each, because I've got them slightly raised so that they're closer to the camera, so that when I'm looking at the screen, it's not too far away from the camera angle. And I also have a mouse for each computer. Very, very important. Now this thing here is a Bamboo or Wacom tablet that allows me to draw pictures on that screen there that will then get displayed or streamed from this main computer here. And that's basically it. It's a nice little chair. It's not a super comfortable chair that I've got here, but it's high enough to position me in the right spot for my little camera over there. So hopefully I've covered everything. Let me just have a quick look. I think I've covered everything. The key things to remember here is to make sure you've got a good enough computer with high processing speeds. High RAM is also good as well, but very important for live streaming is you need a very high processing rate, so a good processor. And very importantly, make sure you're connecting with Ethernet and you've got a good internet connection, at least 5 megabits per second upload for your internet speeds. All right, and I think that's it. That's the whole setup. Okay, so that was a pre-recorded bit. I had some very interesting comments just watching some of the comments stream while that was happening. Some people were saying, where's Gideon? Where did Gideon go? Maybe they missed that it wasn't live. Or that, was streamed live, but it was pre-recorded. So it's a pre-recorded video clip that I streamed live. Also just noticing a few of you having some trouble with viewing the video. Perhaps there's been some drops from my internet connection, so I apologize for that. At the moment, there's nothing I can do about it, and I'm constantly searching for a better internet connection. But if your internet connection is not so good, you can reduce the streaming quality down here somewhere. There'll be a little cog that you can click on, and you can reduce the quality of the stream. So that should, if you've got a slow internet connection, that should work better for you in that case. All right, I think we're ready to move on. Let me just get the rest of my slides. So I've just shared with you what this now looks like. I hope that was useful. And once again, I'll go into that in a second. But let's get back to my slides, because the next thing is, once you have your setup, is to actually go live on YouTube. So YouTube Live. Now for this, it all happens on YouTube. So let me just quickly show you the setup for this. So if you go to YouTube, oh, by the way, you can probably see here we've had 641 or 662 comments now on the video, which is just insane. But let's just quickly get to YouTube here. I want to show you how to set up the live thing. So once you've got all the equipment, this is how you do it. So you click on your face or your account here inside YouTube, click on the Creator Studio. And, of course, this goes without saying, you must have the YouTube Live feature activated inside your settings. Just Google that if you don't know where it is. But if you have it set up, it'll be under your video manager. And then there should be a little one called Live Events. So if you click on that, it'll show you here. And in fact, you can see the one that I'm doing right now. It says Live Now. Oh, and actually it's showing me there's 241 people watching right now, which is pretty cool. That's great. I'm so pleased to see that. Remember to share this with your friends on Facebook if you can. I really appreciate that as a a token of your appreciation. Okay, so let's assume we're setting up a new event. So at the top right here, there's a button that says New Live Event. So you click on that, and you'll see how simple this is once you know how. And I'm just going to call this cool test. And what's cool here is you can set exactly the date and time, even which time zone to be running your live events. You can set this up beforehand and get the page, the live page where it's going to happen beforehand, which is really great for promotion. I think that's a lot more complicated to do with Google Hangouts right now. Perhaps they'll simplify it, but it certainly totally confused me, and I just didn't know how to do it. But anyway, this is not much different to a normal video's details. This is your title, you've got your description area here that you normally would, and your tags. And so what you can actually do is type all this in beforehand, and this becomes your on-page metadata for your video. This is what will show up, once your video is recorded. Now, over here, you can set whether you want it to be public. I'm just going to make this unlisted for now because I don't want my current subscribers to see this. It's just a test. And for the type, you can select whether it's Google Hangouts or custom. Now, custom is the one that I'm using with the Wirecast software. So yes, you can use Google Hangouts. It's simpler, it's easier, etc., etc. But it's not as cool in my view. So next, that's all the settings you need to worry about. You can click on Create Event. And at the moment, you'll see a big banner here for Wirecast for YouTube. And if you click on that, that's where you can download it from. So there's a free version available. I have let me just go there for you now. I have the studio version, the pro version. The only reason I have the pro version is because I like syncing up my audio with my video. So I found that this particular microphone and the video, because they're coming in from different sources, I wanted to sync that up. So you can actually delay your audio a little bit using the pro version of the software. So that's why I went for that. I thought it's worth the investment. But certainly you don't need that. You can start off with a free one and just play around with it. And now very important here, down here you'll see your sustained bitrate for your encoder. Yeah, seriously, you can get confused with all this, but I'll give you the shortcut. All you need to do is click on there and select this one here. If you've got a good enough internet connection, you can go for the top one, but I'm just going for 1500 to 4000 kilobits per second. So that's a 720p one. So that means my video will stream at 720p. There's a whole bunch of other stuff here that can be confusing. Just ignore it. Just save your changes. And then when you're ready, you can go to the live control room up here. And then basically the next thing that needs to happen is you need to go to your Wirecast software on your computer that's going to do the streaming and basically stream it. So let me show you how that works now. Let me just switch to my actual screen here. Now I forgot to bring it in as a screen. So there's the other cool thing. I can bring my own screen in live now. I was supposed to do this beforehand, but let me do this now. So this is bringing in the screen of my computer that's streaming everything. So let me just change the audio source as well. So it sounds cool. And I want to get that right. Okay, so now I've just set my audio so it comes through this microphone now. All right, so I'll flick over to my screen on the streaming computer now to show you how Wirecast works. So that's what it looks like. Hopefully you can still hear me. And so basically what you need to do is you need to go to the, once you set up all your different, like here's my camera, here's my screen of my other computer, here's a clip that I just showed you. But when you want to go streaming live, you need to go to output setting and then output settings. And then it's just giving me a warning now because I'm live at the moment. But then over here, you can do either record to disk or stream straight to YouTube. It'll figure out, there's the stream that you want to go for, so you can select the one. So I'm currently busy with this one. I'm not going to click on this one now because it'll stop the one that you're watching right now. But so you select the one that you've just set up on YouTube, so it should automatically do it. you've just got to go through the authentication process here, and then click on OK, and then that's set up. And then basically once you're ready, you hit stream, the stream button on Wirecast. And then if we go back to this one here, then this preview button will go live. It'll go active. You click on that, and then a few seconds later, it'll just make sure your connection is good, and then it'll have a button that says start the live presentation now, whatever is start now or go live now. And then you're live. Then you're live like I am right now if you're watching this live. It'll get streamed live to the whole world, to all your subscribers, to everybody watching. It'll get recorded in real time as well, so people can watch it immediately afterwards. In fact, you can rewind now if you wanted to, if you missed a bit, and come back to this bit again to see what's happening. It's pretty cool. And that's it. That's the whole setup. I know I went through a lot of details here, but you can go through this again and watch it again to see how I've got it all set up. So that was going live on YouTube. So showing you the equipment, I've shown you how to go live and the software with Wirecast. With all of this, my top recommendation is this. KISS. Keep it simple. Now, I don't want to call you stupid, but keep it simple, silly. I'll call you silly instead. Keep it simple. I use this for myself, like keep it simple, stupid. So always try and simplify, remove complication, remove moving parts. Start off with just the simplest configuration with a webcam and your computer and an internet connection and the simple onboard microphone that you might have on your laptop or your computer. One of the comments that came through while you were watching my setup was that it's probably better if you have a bigger computer as well, because the processing power is much better there. And yes, I agree with that. A laptop is probably not the best way to do this. I thought my new MacBook Air would be plenty good, and it is. But I think if you have a better processor, a bigger computer, obviously that'll work better. But seriously, just keep it simple. Keep it very, very simple. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the possibilities of live video. And these are the opportunities that I'm seeing for me. But I'm sure that there'll be opportunities for you too, and for business in general, but also for, if you just want to do live streams in general, it's the coolest thing. So there's this thing called inevitable success psychology. And I first learned about this from Eben Pagan. Hey, Eben, if you're watching this. And basically the premise is that you set up mechanisms or structures in your life or in your business that forces you to create something successful. The analogy is with catching a plane. There's a deadline. And, especially for an international one, if it's expensive, you do whatever it takes to be there on time so you can catch the plane. So in that sense, you are successful. You become inevitably successful at catching that plane because you've set up a structure of some sort that forces you to get ready and do that thing. Now with live video, it's exactly the same. When you set up a live event and you make it public, there's a countdown timer starts. Now, just like when I first announced this, there was about 5 days to go. At that point, I didn't have any slides. I just had the idea about what the topic should be about. I didn't even know really what I was exactly going to talk about. But there was a countdown timer. And so I knew that I had to be ready. And so that's what's really good about live. It forces you to get ready and do stuff. Now imagine if you do this regularly. If every week you make a commitment, you make a public commitment that you're going to be live somewhere. It's going to force you every single week, or how often you want to do it, to create that content and to create that success. If it's just pre-recorded stuff, it's really easy to lie to yourself and to bend the rules, etc., and go, I've got other things coming up. If you've got a prior commitment where you've committed to an audience saying that you're going to be there and you're going to have something cool, you have to turn up, right? Otherwise you have a lot of egg on your face. So inevitable success. This is what's so cool about this. Now what this does, the outcome of this, is that it can help you do this, rapid content marketing. So if you've been following me for a while, I've been in content marketing for the last 8 years since I started my business online. Content marketing is super powerful. With this live thing, it's rapid. This content that I'm creating right now is getting done live. All I had to do was do a bit of preparation for it. It took me about a day to prepare for this. It's quite a long presentation. It doesn't have to be a long presentation. It can be a 10-minute presentation. It doesn't take a lot of time to prepare for that. But, you get it out there. It's rapid and there's no post-production. Love it. I love it. The next thing is rapid product creation. So in the same way, you can make an announcement saying, hey, I'm going to do a live event here for your paying customers. Maybe even get people to pay for that event and have it behind closed doors. But it forces you to get ready and create that product compared to doing it pre-recorded and wasting a lot of time. It just forces you to get ready on time and get the stuff out. That's super good. Here's another one, rapid launching. Imagine this. Imagine you're launching a new product and maybe you're following a process like Jeff Walker's product launch formula, or if you're running live webinars, all you have to do is set the date and that forces you to get ready. Set the date for the different presentations and, make it public and you have to be ready, because you've made that commitment, that public commitment to be ready. So you could use it for launches. And I mean, just look at the interaction that I'm getting. Let me just do a quick refresh here on the comments. We are sitting at 752 comments right now. That's insane. We might even hit 1,000 comments for this particular video. It's just insane. And think about this. This video has been going on for an hour now. In fact, I need to get to the prizes. We're almost there. I'll announce the prizes very soon. But think about this. I'm getting like 1,000 comments from people for like an hour-long video. The engagement is just insane with this. Okay, so rapid launching. And of course, all of this, as I've drummed this into your head by now, with super high engagement. Now, the big question for you now is live video for you? Is this really something that you should get into now? Are you ready for it? Do you want to do it? Is it for you? The question that I have for you is, where do you want to be on this adoption curve? It's a new thing. We're kind of at the beginning here. I think there's massive up potential for this. And you just look at what happened with television and live broadcasting with TV, or even everything on TV is essentially live broadcast, not like iTunes where you can watch things when you want to, or how you want to, where you want to, this sort of stuff. But this kind of starting to happen the same now with YouTube. So where do you want to be? Do you want to get in here at the beginning and take advantage of this big curve coming up? Or do you want to wait? Do you want to wait till it's, too late, when it's a red ocean again? It's up to you. I guess that's my little bit of pep talk there to get you onto this, because I think it's really cool. Now, if you're keen to get started, here's your action plan. Once again, I'm not selling anything here. I just want you to start using this. This is really cool. Step 1, get the basic gear. Seriously, if you're keen to do this, just get the basic stuff. Get your webcam. Make sure you got a good enough computer. Make sure you got good enough internet. That's all you need. And the software, the free software. Super simple gear. Learn the ropes. Learn how to do it. Watch this video again. Watch that part where I show you my setup so you can get it going. It's a massive shortcut, by the way. Just for your information, I've spent many long hours in getting this setup going. I started with a very complicated setup with a big $3,000 camera with a special connection into my computer, with all sorts of, and a separate extra camera, blah, blah, blah. I made it way too complicated. Just keep it simple, But learn the ropes. Keep it simple. Prepare well. I think this is one thing about live. You've got to spend a bit more time up front as opposed to afterwards. But I think overall it's still less. But prepare well for your presentation, because it's live, obviously. It's like doing a presentation in front of a live audience. Well, it's exactly like that. So prepare well. Test beforehand. run a few tests. Make sure you've got everything set up. Make sure you become comfortable with controlling everything. Maybe have someone else helping you control the different screens and all this sort of stuff. Test it. See how everything works, just so you can get the hang of it. So you don't test while you're live, okay, to a big audience. So maybe test small and then start growing it bigger. In fact, I did test this very small, and I've just been scaling it up slowly. So in fact, what you're watching right now is still a bit of a test. So I'll be gearing up for bigger things and greater things coming up as well. So keep watching my channel for that. And then go live. Just go live and cane it. And this last little one is just tweak to infinity. Tweak into infinity. Like keep on improving, keep learning, keep making it better. That continuous improvement. So have this goal of perfection that you work towards. Realize that you can never be perfect, but always be working towards it. This video that you've watched now, I could have waited another year before I had like just the perfect internet connection. But I thought, hey, what the heck? Let's just do it. My slides, they're super simple. They're not perfect. And I've made mistakes here. But I'm tweaking, every time that I'm going to do this, I'll be better. And I think the same for you. Think about it from that point of view. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time. Just tweak it as you go. I'm getting to the prizes. Right now, in fact. Okay, now for the giveaways of the prizes. I'm hesitant to call them prizes. They're more, because it's not like an official competition that I'm running. This is just my way for getting you involved and building the conversation. But I want to reward you for your involvement. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly announce some of the prizes, but also do a bit of question and answer so that answer some of the main questions for you. There's just been so many, so I don't think I'll be able to do all of them, but I'll see what I can do with that. Okay, so let's start with the third prize. You can pick my brain for 1 hour. So the way I'm going to do this is I have a random process here that I've figured out to do this. So let me share my screen with you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this random.org site, and it pumps out random numbers for you. And I'm going to type in, I want 4-digit numbers between 1000 and 9999. I'm going to generate this number, and I'm going to do this for each prize. And these numbers here, 1969, represents what I'm going to do with my mouse to scroll up and down to find the winner for that prize. So in this case, I'll scroll down 1, then up 9, then down 6 again, and up 9 again. So it's kind of a weird number. And I'm just gonna, I guess I'll show you this live while I'm doing it. I'm not sure. Maybe what I should have done is shown both my face and the screen at the same time. So I'm not sure which is best. I think I'll flick over to the screen, and so you can see me scrolling. And basically then the top result on the top of the page, that'll be the person who gets that prize. So third prize, 1 hour with me. Let's do the draw now. Okay, here we go. So what was it? 1969. All right. So one big scroll, and 9 is going to go to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what was the next one? 6 and 9. So 6 down and 9 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I guess 9 will go back to the top. And I'm just going to hit refresh to make it even more random. Let me just see. Refresh. And okay, so scroll up 9 times. 1, 2, 3. Hey, scroll. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So maybe that's not the best method ever. But the person who's at the top is Feng Shui and Prosper. Okay. Very cool. Feng Shui and Prosper. That is the winner for an hour time with me. If you want to get access to that, Feng Shui and Prosper, just hit me up with an email at support@rapidvideoblogging.com, and we'll set up a time for you. So support@rapidvideoblogging.com, and you'll get access to that. So just again, the winner for that is Feng Shui and Prosper. If that's your channel, please send me an email and we'll set up a time. I was going to do question and answers in between, but I'm just going to go straight to the second prize for those people who want to get on with their day. We're 7 minutes over, and so that you can get on with your day and maybe go and even implement this, and then I'll do the Q&A stuff. So second prize, again, pick my brain for 1 hour. So let's do this again. Let's get another random number here. So generate. So, okay, well, that's not random enough for me. 5555, that's not going to work. So I'm just going to do that again. So 1031. All right. So let's, I'm just going to start here from where Feng Shui was. Where was it now? I've lost it. Anyway, I'm just going to hit refresh. So we make sure we got all the comments there. And what were those numbers? 1031. So here we go. Now you might see this a little bit delayed. There's a slight delay, half a second or so. The numbers again, 1031. So 1 down, 3 up, 1, 2, 3, then 0, I guess, and then down, up, goodness, and then down again, 1. Was that it? Okay. So Stan Gore, I noticed you've left quite a few comments there. Stan, you're the winner of the second prize. So once again, an hour with me where, we can just chat, brainstorm your business, whatever it is. Once again, send me an email at support@rapidvideoblogging.com and we can set up a time to chat. All right. And now for the big one, the Logitech web camera and also an hour of my time. So are you ready for the final prize? Let's do this. So let's hit refresh again. And let's find a random number. Generate. So 4968, that's quite a cool one. So I'm going to go down first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then up. What was it? 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 6 down and 8 up. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. We've got Serena Appia as the overall winner, winning the Logitech camera and an hour of my time. So Serena, if you're watching this, please make sure you send an email to support@rapidvideoblogging.com and we'll set up a time for you and we'll figure out your address so I can send you that really cool little camera. Okay, so I'm going to get into Q&A now. So for those people who are keen to hang around, if you've got more questions, to be honest, the comments and questions has been a little bit overwhelming. I'll do my best to answer some of them, maybe spend 10 or 15 minutes on it and then I'll close it. But hopefully I've been able to give you enough information here to get started and to start running your own live events. Perhaps I've excited you enough and painted a big enough vision for you to realize how cool this is and how awesome time we live in, and that you can do this from the comfort of your own home or your office. You don't need a big broadcasting television anymore. I'm just so excited about this. I'm actually a little bit beside myself since I've been wanting to do this for so long, and I wanted to share this with you. So if you've liked this, if you think I've provided value for you, please remember to share this on social media. It doesn't just have to be Facebook. It can be Twitter as well, or whatever social media you use. And you can share this anytime. You can share this right now while you're watching this live. You can share it afterwards. If you think I've provided value for you, please help me out and share the word. I'd love for people to get to know this information and make a difference. Make a difference in the world. That's what it's all about. So I'm going to switch over to my screen again now and do Q&A. If you want to shoot off and go to work or whatever else, more than happy for you to do that. But I'll see what we can do with the question and answer session right now, and then we'll close it in about 15 minutes or so. So I'm going to go right up to the top and just do the most recent questions, I guess, because I don't have my moderator is just finished. So we ran out of time a little bit for my moderator. Well, there's 930 comments. Obviously, I cannot go through all of them, but let's see if there's any questions. So how work this software and working with two computers, how to set it up. So Monique V. So Monique, that's something that I covered inside my little video that I streamed. If you watch that again, I can't remember exactly now when I talked about it. It was towards the middle of the presentation, I guess. I go into the software that you need for that. So basically, you need, if you want to use two computers, you need the Wirecast software for that. And there's a little, I'm not sure what it's called, a plugin or an extra piece of software called, what's it called? It's called Desktop Presenter. And when you install that on your other computer, not the main one, that'll allow you to connect it through your network so that you can then show it inside your Wirecast software. So if I flick over to my Wirecast screen, you'll see here, so this first one is my webcam. The second one is the screen of my extra computer. And you just, you can add it here. So you can add as many as you want here, especially when you have the Pro version. So if you click on the little screen here, you can see you can add a local desktop. So this will be my screen on my computer that I'm streaming this from. But you can also add a new remote one as well, which is pretty cool. And once again, I recommend you do this on a good connection. So don't do this through Wi-Fi. Connect it through an Ethernet connection or something, so you have a solid connection for connecting that up. Because there will be a bit of a delay. I'm still figuring that out, so that there's absolutely no delay. Okay, so thanks Monique for that question. How would you recommend we embed the YouTube live event window on our blog and make it membership only? Terry Vanoy, great question. So sorry, let me just show you that as well. So this question from Terry, great question. So how would you recommend we embed the YouTube live event window on our blog and make it members only? Super simple. If you know how to embed a YouTube video on a website normally, it's exactly the same process. So you just go grab the embed code, put it on your blog, and boom. So people can actually watch it live from your blog if you wanted to, or any web page for that matter. And that same embed code will then, after you finish, turn into the actual video, the recording of the video. Actually, my moderator, just got a note here, has just sent me some main questions in my email. So let me open up my email program. And so there are probably quite a few recurring questions. So if my moderator did a good job, she will have done a good job at doing this. So I want to cover, I guess, the broadest range for you. So let's have a look. Questions. Just opening this up in my email. All right, the main questions here. Okay, so unfortunately, my moderator didn't put the names in here for where these questions came from, but they're probably quite representative. So can you have more than one person and do interviews? Great question. Yes, you can. You can basically do anything you want with live streaming. It is, however, more complicated than Hangouts, I would say. And in fact, I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm thinking about doing it through Skype somehow and pulling in the stream from Skype to do the interview. Ideally, I guess you have people in the same room. That's going to be the best. But I know Leo Laporte, for example, I think what he used to do is he would have a separate computer for each Skype call that he would pull in. I'm not sure if I'll go through those lengths. I think there must be an easier way or simpler way. I haven't figured that out myself yet, but I do know on Google Hangouts on Air, that's pretty easy to do. You can bring in those extra people, but the quality is not as good. Okay, next question. What are the main differences between YouTube Live and Google Hangouts? So I think I've gone over that in the presentation. They're both live. Just trying to think, is there anything that I didn't mention? Really it just comes down to your level, your hassle factor, and your need or want for control. I can with my interface here, if I show this to you, I can bring in as many different shots here as I wanted to. I can do a shot above my face here, for example, like I can have a lower third sitting there. I can do chroma keying and green screen stuff, so I can remove my background. I can pull in different video clips. For example, here's my intro. I didn't even show this at the beginning. I was going to show this little intro. You can bring in different sound clips. There's just a ton of different things you can do here. You can play around with the audio. There's a whole audio inspector here where you can look at this. For example, from my Rode microphone, I've delayed the audio by 0.09 seconds to make it sync up with my video stream. So you can't do this in Hangouts, not that I know of. So with Google Live, you've just got a lot more control. So yeah, it is more, it requires a bit more to set up, but seriously, once you've got it set up, I actually find it easier than Hangouts personally. Okay, next question. What are the main, can you have the video on your own site? There's distractions there, and I think I've covered there. Yes, absolutely. You just embed the video on your site. If you want to have the comments going, you'll need another application to have comments. I don't think you can embed the YouTube comments or the chat feature of YouTube on your website. Now, John Lee Dumas just recommended a really cool chat service. I can't remember what it's called, unfortunately, right now. But there's a ton around that you can use if you do want the chat feature there as well. But certainly, you just grab the embed code and it streams live on your site. Is there a way to have paid viewers only? Absolutely. So this goes hand in hand with streaming it on your own site. What you could do is set up a live stream and don't make it public. Make it unlisted. So don't make it private either. So make it unlisted. And then you can grab the embed code for that video. Or you can do it straight on YouTube as well as you wanted to, but it's probably better and safer if you grab the embed code, embed that on your site where it's not publicly available. And then, that's behind, you can have that behind closed doors that you only open up to your paying members. So they've got to pay first before you give them access to that page. So that's how you do that. Do you want me to draw a picture? Maybe I'll draw a picture just to make that as clear as possible. So let me get the right screen here. So the way it would look would be something like this. So so you basically set up, you'd set up your page here, embed your live video from YouTube on there. So this is your site, and this is just the YouTube video embedded, and this is perhaps behind closed doors. There's a wall here, and it's not public, so it's not public. And then depending on how you're communicating with your members, maybe there's your payment page up front here where you're promoting your live event. There's a buy now button. They click on that buy now button, they go to your payment processor to pay, and then you can either send them straight to your live thing there or to another page where you collect their details first, or whatever. It's up to you. But certainly you can put that behind the screen. Let's see, what's the next question? Can we use the webcam on your computer? Absolutely. In fact, that's how I got started. Get this, the main reason why I switched to the Logitech camera was because for my webcam on my MacBook Pro, I couldn't get the eyeglasses software working with it. And if you remember, if you watched that, let me just show this for you. See this software here, eyeglasses, it's about $20. I'm able to control the exposure and white balance of my video. And for me, this is important for the lights that I'm using, because there's some sort of technical glitch in the frequency between Australia and America where these things get, where they get designed for. that creates a flicker in the video. So if I need to be able to increase the exposure and white balance to get rid of that flicker. But otherwise, I probably would have used just my webcam on my computer. So you don't even need the Logitech webcam. You can certainly test it out with just your webcam. The webcams coming up these days are amazing. I did talk to the eyeglasses people and asked them, hey, can you make this work for just the webcam, the new webcam on the iSight camera on your MacBook Pro? And they said yes, they're working on it. So perhaps in the future they'll have that functionality there as well. So you can change the exposure and white balance as well. All right. Next question. What kind of microphone are you using? Wouldn't a lapel mic be better? Great question. I saw one of the comments earlier that in TV production, more professional stuff, they have a smaller microphone because the big microphone draws attention away from the speaker a bit. And I do agree. It probably does. It depends. I mean, look at Larry King Live, though. He's got a massive microphone, right? But I guess they focus on his face quite a bit. But he's got the big microphone thing going. But certainly you can use a lapel microphone. That's how I started, in fact, with my fancy camera. So I had a lapel microphone that would the audio would go into my camera, and then all of that, the audio and the video from that camera would get streamed, would get processed into my computer and then streamed to the live show. The biggest issue I have with that is that it's another moving part. For the wireless one particularly that I used, it needed batteries. And I don't want to run out of batteries during a live presentation. You can get ones where there's no batteries required, and that's more ideal, but it's a more complicated setup. So absolutely, if you want to have, I guess, not a big microphone like this and more of a lapel mic to make it look a bit nicer, go for it. If you can set it up and it's not too complicated, I do recommend that. But once again, just keep it simple. Don't get stressed about it. If you can't do it properly, just get something going and get it good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, next question. Can you record for later viewing? And I've probably covered this a little bit, but yes, I mean, this whole thing is getting recorded live on YouTube. So by the time that this presentation is finished, it's ready to rock. You can in fact, even while you're watching this live, you can rewind back to the beginning of this presentation and start watching it from the beginning. So it gets recorded in real time. And that's one of the cool things that I love about YouTube Live. And I'm pretty sure it's the same with Google Hangouts as well, Hangouts on Air. Once you're done, it's there ready for people to watch the replay. Very cool. What do you take into considerations when scheduling a time for your live show, the time zones? Another great question. For me, because my main audience is in America, I normally pick like a time when my audience will be more likely to watch my live show. So it depends on where your audience is at. For me, normally I like running live events at about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's normally when people have a bit more time and a bit more relaxed. It's after work for people in New York, but it also covers the whole of America. Everyone in America, it's still their daytime to be able to watch it. So unfortunately for people in Europe and the UK and that time zone there, it's not so good for me, but the majority of my audience is in America, and that's why I pick those times. But the recommendation here is that pick a time that's going to be most appropriate and most convenient for your main target audience. If you want to, of course, run multiple ones during different times of the day. There's nothing that prevents you from doing that. I used to do that, but I find it too painful, to do the same presentation twice in a day. So that's fully up to you as well. Okay, next question. How do you switch between live views and screenshots? Okay, so very easy. You need the software. So if I switch over here to my Wirecast software, this is how I do it. So there's two ways of doing it. Either you can use your mouse and just click on it. So I've just clicked on my face now, and I'm going to click back on the screen here, and I'm going to click back onto the extra computer screen. So you can just use your mouse if you want to. You can also rename each of these things, each of these cues, whatever they call it, so that you can have a shortcut for it on your keyboard. So for these first two, I did it. I didn't do it for the other ones, but for the first one, I have a number 1 in front of the name of that shot. And for this one, I have got the number 2 in front of the shot. So what I can do on my screen is, on my Apple keyboard, I can type in option 1, and it goes to the main, to this screen here, and option 2, and then it goes to this screen here. So I can flick between the two very quickly, just on my keyboard. But obviously you can do it with your mouse as well. But that comes with the Wirecast software. That's one of the cool things I like about it compared to Google Hangouts. You can just flick between things really easy. And I'm doing this all by myself. I do have a moderator who's watched the comments for me and came up with these questions. So I did have a little bit of help, but in terms of running the actual thing, it was all just me. And I think that's really exciting. Okay, let's go on to this question. What do you use for your drawings? A drawing pad? Yes, so if you watched the video of my setup earlier on in this presentation, you'll see I have my pad. It's a Wacom bamboo pad just sitting right here. It's plugged into my other computer where I'm sharing my screen, and the software that I'm using, let me just show you the software, is called Sketchbook Express. It's really cool software. It's free, and this allows me to draw stuff on the screen, and you can change colors, etc. It's pretty cool. You can do a green one and all sorts of things. So it's basically just like having a virtual whiteboard there ready to rock, which is very useful for when you're doing presentations. So it's a Wacom tablet and the Sketchbook Express software. All right, last question from my moderator. Could you stream a live seminar, a speaker with a live audience? Oh, great question, and absolutely. I think this is another really cool thing about live. In fact, Creative Live, they do exactly this. They've got a really cool business model where they've basically set up the whole studio, a live studio that's got room for an actual audience. So they get this expert to come into their studio. They have an actual audience sitting there, but then they also stream it live. I don't think they use YouTube. They use their own technology perhaps. But they stream the whole thing live and record it at the same time as well. And you can do exactly the same with YouTube Live, also Google Hangouts for that matter. You can have a live audience, absolutely. So you can actually see them. And that might even add to the experience even more. So you've got your virtual live audience, but also a real live audience happening at the same time. And I can just imagine how cool that would be. Obviously more moving parts there, more difficult to set up because you've got to get everybody in the same room at the same time. Whereas if you just have a virtual audience, you just have to be yourself in one space at any one time, and everyone else just log in from wherever they are. Okay, those are the questions from my moderator. I'm just going to have a quick look to see if there's anything that strikes me as urgent. We're 10:30, so half an hour. So we've done this for an hour and a half now. I think there's probably plenty of information that I've covered. You probably have a sense of overwhelm. There's 998 comments at the moment on this video. So we need 2 more comments to make it 1,000. I mean, how cool is that? I'm so pleased to see that. Beforehand, there's always this measure of nervousness, I guess, and not sure how it's going to go. I know the call has probably dropped a couple of times throughout this event. My apologies for that. I'm working constantly to find a better internet connection for me here in Australia where I'm living, which is not in one of the main centres, and that's probably part of the reason why. We do have good internet, but it's in pockets in Australia. So Australia, I had actually someone make that comment in reply to my email saying, hey, if it's so bad for you, why bother, or something along those lines. And I just wanted to make clear, Australia, awesome country, and that's why I live here. Brilliant place. The internet's just lagging a little bit in terms of the infrastructure. So I can't wait for the internet to catch up here in Australia, so that all of us in Australia can catch up with the rest of the world when it comes to internet stuff. Okay. I've just noticed we've gone over 1,000 comments. We are sitting on wow, 1,025 comments. My moderator has just brought something else in. How do these videos rank, and do they rank as well as Google Hangouts? Let me just quickly touch on that. I have no idea. This really is the test to see what happens, how well this ranks. You know, and that's why I wanted you to get engaged as well. I wanted to play everything. I wanted you to share this. I wanted you to get interactive and leave comments and see what happens. You know, you're experimenting along with me. So time remains. You know, YouTube is not, they don't tell you exactly what the algorithm is for ranking videos. I mean, if they did, everybody would be playing the system. What I do know is that they look at watch time, these two fingers are better. They look at number one, watch time, and number two, your session time. Those are two main things they look at. Obviously, they look at a ton of other things as well, like, you know, are people leaving comments? Are they sharing it? Is it naturally, organically growing? Is it naturally, organically being shared? All this sort of stuff. So it's not just watch time and session time, but those are two extremely important factors. And when it comes to live video, and I think this will go for both Google Hangouts as well as YouTube Live, my guess, my gut feeling is that you do have an advantage. But of course, it's longer videos in general, so people probably don't watch longer videos as much as they watch shorter videos. I mean, I don't know. This really is an experiment, and I want to see how it goes, and perhaps in a future video, I'll share that with you. All right, the comments are still streaming in. I mean, feel free to keep chatting there. I'm going to bring this to a close now. I just want to thank you for being here live. I'm just going to see how many people are still on the call. Let me have a quick look. We have still 130 people watching this right now, according to my screen here. That's just tremendous. I mean, 130 of you have stayed on the call for like an hour and a half. You know, I'd struggle doing that for like a 5-minute video. You know, when you look at the engagement or the retention rate, it just drops so quickly. So I think this is an experiment that's certainly been successful for me. I'll now go and look at the results afterwards, analyze the analytics. Perhaps leave your comment. If you've enjoyed this, please let me know. If there were any issues, please let me know. I'm going to read through all of them. It's going to take me a long time, but I do read through all of them. It'll be tremendous feedback for me to help me improve on any future presentations. So I'm going to bring this to a close now. Thank you so much once again. This was just tremendous. And, you know, I'm so excited about future presentations. I can't wait. I just really can't wait. So thanks once again. And I'll see you, I guess, either live or at any one of my future presentations. Thanks again. Bye-bye.